Hey everybody, welcome back to Holt Growers. I'm your host Timothy Holt, and today we're talking about lettuce, specifically royal red lettuce. Now I did earlier this week do a video, but I apologize. While I was editing the video, I accidentally deleted it, which kind of sucks, but I did. In that video we covered planting, the difference between a peat pot and these plastic trays, why I prefer the plastic trays over the peat pots, but since we had these, we're using them for tomatoes and some peppers. We have bell peppers, assorted bell peppers, and some banana peppers here as well. Now, this tray I didn't get to due to some time restraints, so today we're going to be planting some royal red lettuce. We're going to go with just our finger, make a little divot, and then cover it up, cover the seed up. They take 50 days to maturity. It's a leafy lettuce. Hopefully it'll go well with our butter crunch leaf lettuce and our leafy spinach, both of which need to be planted. Well, the butter crunch is planted, some seedlings. Supposed to be planting them indoors, away from risk of frost. Thus our heat lamps, if you see those, that's because we're in my basement and it usually stays about 45 to 50 degrees down here normally all year round. So we have the heat lamps and some plastic over here underneath these trays. We're getting readings in the mid 60s to mid 70s depending on where I put that thermometer, so which is good for germination. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and show you guys this before we get started with that. This is our butter crunch leaf lettuce, and we planted it earlier this week, 6 days ago. And I don't know how well you can see in that video here, but we've got quite a bit of sprouting going on, which is very encouraging and exciting. The thing is, we want to keep that sprouting going on, so we're going to cover that back up and get that close to that heat lamp so it doesn't get too cold. So this is, again, royal red lettuce. It's going to add some color to our salad mix of the butter crunch leaf lettuce and the leafy spinach. So again, I generally shake my seeds, get them down to the bottom. And lettuce, if you look in there, is really tiny seeds. So basically what we're going to do, put some in my hand, just like we did with the butter crunch. And then I'm just going to pinch a couple seeds in my finger and then plot them into the tray. I want to get 2 or 3 seeds in each little tray and make sure that the seeds get covered up. Now I know some people say 1 seed's fine per tray, but I like to put at least 2 in each tray, just in case they don't, I get a seed that doesn't germinate. I still have a plug that I can transplant. And if I have 2 in the tray, in the plug, I can always thin it later. So I hope everything is going well for you today. It is a little chilly out. It's hovering in the 30s and low 40s here in western Pennsylvania, which is definitely cold for this time of year. But we're not out of risk of frost until June 1st, so and that's why we're doing this inside. Now, outside we haven't put up our greenhouse yet in the backyard. But next year, hopefully, we'll have that in place. So we'll be doing this out in the greenhouse next year rather than in the basement here. And this space will be strictly post-harvest space. But right now, we don't have that luxury. So we're using what we have and what God has blessed us with. That's really what running a market farm is going to be about. You've got to take the punches as they come and use what you have and make the most of it. When I was a kid, little interesting story here. When I was a kid, I lived on a farm, and it was a subsistent farm. So what we raised, we ate. And then we also had a garden for ourselves. It was pretty sizable. It was about a half an acre large garden. And I remember my parents every spring praying that what we planted would sprout and come up and grow so we would have food. And one time I asked my mom or dad what faith was, the meaning of faith. And the answer I got was pretty interesting. And they said, faith is like planting a seed. That's what faith is. Faith, you exercise faith when you plant your seed, because you don't cause that seed to grow. You can do things that'll help encouraging it to grow, but you can't actually physically cause it to grow. It's going to grow, or it's not going to grow. And you're not going to know that until after you plant it. You can have the best soil, you can have the right moisture content, right pH balance, you can have all those things in place, and that seed still might not grow, because it might just be a bad seed. But you put it in the ground with faith that it's going to grow for you. And right now, that's what we're doing right now. We are exercising faith that as I plant the seed over the next days and weeks, it's going to germinate and grow just like that butter crunch has. And it's going to produce a crop that we can eat and we can sell. Every time we plant seed, no matter what the seed is, we're going to exercise our faith in something we can't see. And that's what's happening on the microbiology level of the seed. So that's it. Now I do have some extra seed here in my hand, so I'm just going to carefully put them back in here. Hold that up so we don't lose any. Put it with my other seed. Now, plastic trays are kind of nice. They come apart, a little bit more manageable. Smaller trays here. However, on the bottom, if you see there, there's a drain hole for excess water to drain out into this bay, into these tracks, which is kind of nice. So it's difficult to overwater these things. If the soil is dry, you add water. If it's wet, you don't. And you want to get a little bit of water over it evenly. Unlike the peat cups will soak up the water and act like a sponge. So we're just going to water these real quick here, very carefully, not to displace those seeds. And as soon as we get this water on, we'll put the cover on, get it on the platform right underneath that heat lamp, and then you'll be seeing videos coming up on the progress of these seeds. I'm very excited about that butter crunch. I personally don't remember ever growing lettuce, leaf lettuce, head lettuce, and I definitely don't remember doing this as a child on our farm. We just planted it straight into the ground, the different crops that we grew. We also were in central Iowa, which has a very different growing season than here in western Pennsylvania. So we'll get that covered and get one of these ice cream buckets here. For our platform and get it underneath this heat lamp. Like I said, we will be covering, I think that will stay up there. As it gets warmer down here, these platforms will go away and we'll continue to do this. We'll keep you updated on what's going on with these peppers and tomatoes with these peat cups. I'm not overly a big fan of peat cups, but some people are because they are biodegradable. So, however, I don't know how well you can see that, but this is pretty moist. It soaks it up like a sponge. So it's a lot more difficult to tell whether or not you need to water, and it's a lot easier to overwater, oversaturate your roots. So we're just going to leave this here, let that heat up, and go from there. Looks like I need a better platform. So I'll get a better platform, but we're going to call this video good. I hope God blesses you. Get out, grow something today. Check out the other videos on this channel. If you have any questions, comments, feel free and leave those. And may God richly bless you.